Good morning, it's 7:30. I'm camped about half an hour north of Flagstaff, Arizona. I woke up about half an hour ago, checked the weather forecasts on my phone for those mountains, and turns out the forecast changed from a chance of thunderstorms to clear. So I'm gonna go climb the highest mountain over there today. It's called Humphreys Peak. It's the highest mountain in Arizona at 12,600 something feet. I believe it's this guy on the far right. The rightmost peak of those three summits in the middle. And I'll hit the road. I won't meet up with you again until I get to the Arizona Snow Bowl, which is on that side of the mountains. It's a ski resort, but in the summer it's the trailhead for the hike up the mountain. So I need to eat and then driving, and then I'll start the video back up again. Okay, I'm at the trailhead, getting ready to start hiking. Humphreys Peak summit, 4.8 miles. Beautiful area. There are a number of cars in the parking lot, but not too many yet. I'm getting started just after 8:30. As I said earlier, this is a ski resort here. You can see the lift right here. I believe this on the left is Humphreys Peak. The mountains are in a wilderness area, and mechanized equipment is not allowed in wilderness areas, so mountain bikes aren't allowed, generators aren't allowed, drones are also not allowed, so I won't be flying the drone up here. Just a few minutes after I said that, National Forest wilderness boundary. I think it rained a lot last night, and so the forest is just dripping, and I feel like I'm hiking in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, there's moss on the rocks all over, just very green for Arizona. I'm an hour into the hike now. Still basically the same kind of scenery. Rocky trail, trees. Not much of a view out that way because of the trees. I've gained 1,387 feet in elevation and gone 2.6 miles, making good time. I've encountered a few other people on the trail, a handful of groups, but overall it's been pretty quiet. Getting a first look at some more open country here now. Still have a ways to go though. There's the summit. I head up the ridge now. Here's the top. Someone ahead of me just got up there. Made it to the summit up here. 4.9 miles, 2 hours 15 minutes, 3,353 feet of elevation gain. Beautiful day. Not too windy up here, not too hot, not too cold. It's great to be on top of Arizona. Got some ominous looking clouds over here moving this way, so I'm gonna get out of here. It's funny, the top is and isn't the whole point. Like, yes, that's kind of the goal, but it doesn't really matter at the same time. You just want to get outside and go hiking and enjoy beautiful views and everything, and the summit is just the byproduct of that. It's just the vehicle that gets you up, gets you out, gets you hiking. So I don't really spend too much time on the summits. I get up there, take some pictures, and then leave. I'm not gonna film a ton on the way down, but there is one special, interesting thing that I'm gonna see on the way down. I'm gonna have to leave the trail and make my way over there once I get down a couple thousand more feet. I left the top about an hour ago, and I'm about halfway back down the trail. And I'm about to leave the trail to go to that other thing that I wanted to see. I'm gonna leave it at one of the hairpin turns and the switchbacks here. And on the way up I saw a faint use trail leading off in the direction that I want to go. So I'm gonna follow that. Okay, here's the switchback, and here's the little trail. I feel like there's a little bit of a trail here, but it's super faint and might be easy to lose, but I still have my destination marked on my map on my phone, so I can still find it even if I do lose the trail. Ooh. Yeah, I've lost the trail, so I'm just heading over and trending slightly up through the forest here. Okay, I've made it to my destination. So in 1944, a B-25 airplane crashed on the side of the mountain here. It was on a training run and it crashed into the mountain. So I'm here looking at some of the wreckage. No idea what this thing is, but it's the first thing I've come to. A couple other guys up here too. Lots of debris in this area. Here's a big chunk of a wing. And it's all over the hillside here. I can see things glittering in the sun, shining all over the hillside. Check this piece out. There's a star you can still see on it. Here's a big chunk of wing right here. Here's a propeller. Big propeller. Solid. Landing gear. Big chunks of molten metal around here. From above you can really see how many pieces of metal there are. You know, I'm torn here because this is, like, objectively, this is really interesting. It's really interesting to see this wreckage. But at the same time, you have to temper that with the fact that 8 people died when this thing crashed, and so yeah, it's tricky. Looks like this was a control panel of some sort. There must have been dials or instruments on it. Oh wow, look at this. This is metal that's been melted and fused together with a couple of rocks. Just shows you how high the temperatures must have been when this thing exploded as it hit the mountain. Alright, I'm hearing some thunder in the distance. I don't know if you could hear that, but I need to get out of this exposed area, get back in the forest. You could spend hours exploring this, combing through the wreckage, but yeah, this is really interesting, but again, sad. I'm getting hailed on. Maybe 20 minutes from the car, but I think I need to bust out the poncho. Rain and hail. Alright, I'm back in the car. It is 2:35. I figure I was hiking for about 5 hours, plus whatever time I spent up on top. And it was a good hike. I think this was my 8th state high point. I've gone up Texas, now Arizona, California twice, Nevada, Utah twice, Idaho, Washington, and Montana. And this was one of the easier ones. The trail was pretty good the whole way. Not super steep, at least for most of it. It was pretty mellow for most of the hike until you got kind of up on the ridge. Then it got a little bit steeper, but otherwise pretty tame. I'm glad I missed the weather. I'm glad I was able to make it up and hike for most of the day in clear weather. I'm hungry and I'm gonna treat myself to a lot of food. I'm gonna go to Chipotle, get a big old burrito or something and just chow down, and then probably go hike again. I'm tired, but I'm not exhausted. It's all in a day's work, this hiking stuff. So assuming the weather is still good and assuming I'm still feeling, well, I guess we'll see how I feel after, devouring huge amounts of food, but let's do that first and then we'll see how I feel after that. So I'm about half an hour west of Flagstaff now. I'm gonna be hiking to Keyhole Sink, which is about, that sign said 1 mile, but I've heard 7/10 of a mile. I did indeed go back to Flagstaff. I did indeed get a burrito bowl at Chipotle. I also got a shake nearby, and I then drove west on Route 66. Actually, it was on the interstate, but it paralleled Route 66. And then I did drive part of Route 66 to get here. Like I said, this trail is a mile or less, so it's not exactly taxing. It's mostly flat and level, so it'll be easy on the knees. And I'm excited to show this place to you. I've never been there, but from what I've seen in pictures online, it looks really cool. So here we are at Keyhole Sink. At some times of the year, there's a waterfall here, but now is apparently not one of those times. Even though it has been raining a lot. Gotten rained on, I guess, 3 different times today. And let me show you some of the interesting things here. So here's a panel of rock art. The sign back there said that it's about 1,000 years old. And the most interesting part is this. It shows where I am, Keyhole Sink, with deer being driven into it. So it's thought that this was a hunting area. The natives would herd the deer into the little canyon here, and then presumably trap them and kill them. And then there's a second panel over here, and I believe a third over here. But it has started raining, so I'm gonna take shelter and wait for it to pass by. Hopefully it will. There are lots of mosquitoes out here, but I've found a little cave to shelter under while it's raining. I might have to leave the cave actually though, because of the mosquitoes. But I can imagine that the natives did a similar thing. When it started raining, they'd come into this cave and wait for it to pass by. I've taken shelter now under a pine tree. It's raining quite a bit out there. But yeah, normally, well not normally, but I've seen pictures of a waterfall coming off here down into this little pool here. Here's the cave I was sheltering in until the mosquitoes drove me away. Okay, so it lasted for about half an hour, the rain did. Got 10 or 20 mosquito bites. I do have some bug spray in my backpack that I was able to fish out eventually, but not before the mosquitoes got me. So I showed you that first panel, the one with the really interesting petroglyph of the deer being herded into the canyon, into the keyhole here. And I'm going to show you the second one now. I don't think there is a third one. I don't know what I was looking at before. I think there are just two panels. Looks like there's a sun, or something like a sun, some human-ish figures. There's a snake, a couple snakes up here. Very nice couple of panels here. Nothing's, you know, super spectacular, but it's still pretty interesting. I always find these interesting. Here's the little puddle of water underneath the cliffs. I heard some frogs croaking earlier. Don't hear any now. Well, that was very cool. I enjoyed that. It's not raining anymore, but it might as well be because of all the water dripping off of the trees. Gonna head back to the car now, and then I'll see what time it is, and then plan my next move based on that. I'm out looking for a campsite and stumbled across this kind of idyllic and beautiful area, completely surrounded by cinder cones. But this isn't quite where I wanted to camp, so I'm gonna keep going a bit further. I just had to stop and get out and take a look at this area. It is unbelievable. Wow. Talk about big sky country. here in northern Arizona. So you can see my car out here and just look at this amazing area. It is unbelievably beautiful. I see a road going off into that direction. Maybe there's a campsite there. I see more roads going off this way. I could go camp by this little hill. It might be fun to go climb up that hill and fly the drone from up there. There are just an embarrassingly high number of amazing places to camp around Flagstaff. I've got a good hour and a half until it gets dark, so I've got plenty of time to roam the area and find a campsite that ticks all the boxes for me. So I went back to the car and I actually get reception here, so I flipped to Google Maps to the satellite view to see where exactly these other roads go and what the area around those roads looks like. And I realized that if I just went a little bit further up that road that I was walking on, it would lead to a great campsite. And so here's the campsite. It's at a little dead-end road right up against the trees for a bit of a wind break. And then this way, got great views. So this is Humphreys Peak. That's the one that I climbed earlier. And great views out overlooking the meadow. Very secluded. Just an awesome, awesome area. There is a fire ring. I'm going to get some stuff set up and then I'll fly the drone, take a look at the area, see what it looks like from the air. I'm just gonna hang out, make some dinner, again probably just peanut butter sandwiches, and enjoy the view with my little campfire. There's no fire restriction in this national forest. I think this is Kaibab National Forest, but Coconino National Forest is within a few miles here, I think. I looked at the websites for both of them. There's not a fire ban or aren't any campfire restrictions in either one, so I'm good to go. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. These last couple of days have been awesome. A lot of adventure, a lot of really amazing things, and I hope you've enjoyed them. Let me know what your favorite part of the video was, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.